Good evening, all my little yips, yaps, and yodies out there. Pixy here with you tonight, and I'm feeling pink and fluffy, and I have a game thoughts for you tonight. Now, we're thinking about a bunch of Nintendo 64 games here recently, and, well, that train isn't stopping anytime soon, and this is a game that I actually bought brand new, and I still have my original copy here, and I had a lot of fun with, so we're going to talk. Tonight's going to be the Battle of Ogre Battle 64. So, this is apparently a sequel to another game, Ogre Battle, which was, I think, on the Super Nintendo, which I never played. Um, but it's a kind of a strategy RPG adventure army game where you're questing for a lot of things that the game tells you need to quest for to save the kingdom and all sorts of other hoo-ha. And there's a lot of ways to go about some of the missions. And some of the missions you can do out of order or not at all. Some areas you can go back to and explore to try and catch monsters. Or find items that were lying around that you didn't spot. So, it's got a lot you can do. Now, you have certain... You get your hero, your main dude, who upgrades throughout the game slowly but surely. He gets natural, main character power-ups. But you also have a lot of other characters in the game, both female and male, which actually makes a big difference because they have different sets of things they can turn into. Now, what you can do to get more characters is you take any one character who is at least like the B class. They have to bend a character and upgrade at least once, and then they can lead a troop of people. So you have the say the first upgrade level knight character from the male regime, or the Valkyrie from the female team, and you hand them a bunch of nobodies. Well, basically, there's little dudes, teeny dudes with pikes, with spears. And they don't do too much as far as combat quality. But, if they're in a team with whatever gender or leader they happen to have, they will evolve into the basic fighter of that species, I guess. So you'll get like a fighter, or whatever the female one was. I think it's also a fighter. Either way, you end up with your basic level 1 soldier. It's random. As far as I can tell, it's random. I think it has to do with how many times you've gone into combat with them. And one of the little pikemen turns into bloop. It becomes a big person, takes away the space where the 3 pikemen were. Now, each party that's out there can have up to 5 characters in it. So the leader character plus either 4 soldierized characters or 4 little packs of 3 spear guys. And if you're really trying to farm for more soldiers, you'll send out a leader unit with a bunch of spear guys, because then they'll spawn soldiers. You can also acquire beasts. They appear in the wild. Appear more often in the wild when you're not on a quest in that area, but that doesn't mean you won't run into them when you're in a mission at the moment. And the thing is, you have to not kill the monster. You have to almost kill the monster, and then it will decide to join your party. And then it's in your assignable soldiers for later on, and you can go, okay, I'll put this in. From what I remember, creatures take up 2 people slots. So Even if it's a small, a baby dragon takes up 3 people slots, as well as an adult dragon and the elder dragon. So, but you have to level a lot of these guys up to make them be useful anyway. So you may be stuck having that baby dragon take up 2 slots for a while till it turns into an adult dragon, and then eventually the really big scary dragon. You don't know what color a dragon's going to be when you start with it if you get a baby, because the baby dragon turns into all 6 variants. And then, well, the 6 main elements: fire, wind, water, electricity. I can't remember for sure. I know dark and light are 2 of them. But their mid grades are pretty good. But when they become their ultimate level, the Super Elder special variant of their dragon type, they make some seriously cool attacks. Good important point here to note: where you position your guys in your little 9-point grid says what kind of stuff they're going to do. You have 5 total units, or 3 if you're using a large critter like a dragon. 4. 4. It takes up 2 of the slots. Yeah. But you can have, like, say, a leader and 2 dragons, or 2 large creatures. You still have to have a human as a lead. Well, human is kind of a loose point there. Human-based character has to be your the leader of the group. But you can have a total of 2 other units worth in this 9 grid. If something's in the front, it's normally going to do a stab attack. If someone's in the back, they'll generally do a magic attack if available. Some characters don't have any choices, like the little spearmen. No matter where they go, they're just running up and going. Also decides how many attacks they get per instance. Like being in the front, you get more attacks. Being in the back, things like archers might get more attacks. So it really comes to interesting stuff. Also, there's wizards in this game, and obviously they do more good casting stuff in the back row. And they can do interesting stuff if they're combined. So say you have an earth wizard and a fire wizard, and they're both in the back row. You have a chance they're going to do a combined magic and do some kind of cool magma ball attack instead of just a fire attack and an earth attack. Stuff like that can happen. And it gets even cooler if you have 3 wizards back there doing something, because they can combine multiple ways and just go alakabool, big goes attacks the bad guys. Kind of neat in that aspect. Now, how you upgrade most of your guys once they become at least level 1 fighter or level 1 whatever the female was fighter. You just need to have a proper equipment. So, say the knight requires a big shield and a certain kind of sword. As long as you have this armament in your inventory not being used yet, you can upgrade that little basic swordsman into a knight and have another more powerful fighter. Sometimes they require certain stats to do the upgrades as well, so they mean you'd have more intelligence, so you can't necessarily just go, little new guy, I'm going to give you the basic wizard's robes, and I'm going to give you the super wizard's robes, then I'm going to give you the ultra wizard's robe. I don't remember how many of these levels there were. It's been a while since I played it. You'd have to actually play with him as the wizard, and he'll level up and gain more intelligence or whatever. That way you can evolve him into the better wizard. There are a ton of different things you can evolve your guys into. Beastmasters, paladins, dark knights. I remember there was the Valkyrie, and there's some other variants of that. The female lines weren't as interesting. There are undead things you can turn your guys into, like vampires and whatever. So that's why I said human is the loose term, as the things need to be a leader, because human source to be a better option. Like you can make a lich as one of your dudes. It's really kind of out there what all we can do. Now, say you have a little swordsman and you really want to make him a big, strong paladin, but, well, he's not ready for it yet. You can, though, at least equip him with the weaponry. You can make him hold the sword of all coolness and the shield of all defensiveness and the helmetude, whatever they were, until he's ready to party on. And as soon as he's leveled up enough, then you go, by the way, now you're a knight. Now you're a paladin. Yay, you. Uh, kind of cool in that aspect. The way you play the game, whenever you go into a mission, it's everybody's constantly potentially moving. So the bad guys are potentially walking around doing things. You may have to be defending an area. You may have to be attacking an area. And you potentially could be hunting down items that are just randomly lying around, or creatures randomly out there. You could potentially battle and, keep. The premise of almost every one of the missions involves you have to take out a boss character that's camping out at the enemy stronghold point at this location. But usually you also have to defend your stronghold from the onslaught of the other guys. And again, that people are generally constantly moving, so your little troops are kind of wandering around, sort of, in a sense, Legend of Zelda 2 type Link's Quest game. Your tiny overworld sprites aren't really doing much of the anything. They're trotting along, and then whenever you attack, whenever you hit each other, your little 9 grids both pop up on the screen, and your guys do their attacks as they're scheduled to do them, and you hopefully have done enough damage to them, and your guys don't take too much damage. And assuming anyone's still alive, your guys get shot apart. You have the option to wander back together again, or get the heckers out of dodge, and hope the other guy isn't fast enough to catch you. Now, if your guys die in combat, they die, so you don't get them back. You can keep getting more guys to upgrade to, say, fighters, then knights, then whatever's, or wizards, or whatever you're trying to get to. But you have to do that. You can't just magically have them all appear. So it does come to the unfun part of early in the game. You probably should have a lot of little spear guys running around with you, just so you're generating mans. And it doesn't hurt you too much if you lose a couple of spear guys, because, well, like, oh, I lost a spear guy. There's still 2 in the crowd. That's fine. As long as there's 1 spear guy in a group, you can still have it potentially upgrade into a person. So, not a bad option. However, everything above the spear guy does a hecker's lot more damage. So, there's that too. Now, I haven't figured out how to have a good ending. Okay. This game has good endings and bad endings depending on what choices you make during the game. And I guess if you do things that are somewhat more evil, you get the bad ending where you finish it, but you get kicked out of the kingdom. I always get kicked out of the kingdom, apparently. I'm apparently evil. So, yay, evil. It's a nice long game, especially if you go back into certain areas to look for things like creatures that you want to have on your party or one to catch for funsies. Dragons, I obviously mentioned. I like those a lot. They were fun. And it's also a good way you can level up your characters without going and doing the missions. You can take, say, a soldier and a set of pikemen, a whole bunch of little spear guys to go out critter hunting. You're not risking anything getting lost, you're risking spear guys. So you have a chance of getting them turned into soldiers. Also, if you're going in, you can always take in soldiers and go attacking the wildlife, killing them, as opposed to trying to catch them. And you have the option, well, then your guys potentially are going to gain experience and level up. So there's that. Catching critters or leveling up your mans. Both are good options here. And of course, searching for random junk that you didn't find. That apparently you can, if you look it up online, I'm sure it tells you what all maps have what all junk is sitting around. And sometimes when you beat a group of bad guys, you'll get a specific piece of junk they were carrying around, like a sword or a helmet or a shield or whatever. And then you just have one more of those in your inventory. But it is a lot of fun. I really enjoy the RPG-ness of it. I love the fact that you have semi-control over your guys, like how many attacks they do by wherever you stick them, but that also makes how vulnerable they are. I love the fact that you can work to upgrade somebody in a direction. It's like it's not too hard to make someone go up to a second level soldier or a first level wizard or whatever. You have easy option to get up to a tree, and then once you're there, they do work hard to upgrade themselves. They level up towards their purpose. Kind of like the job system of Final Fantasy V, where you just pick an option and your guy gets better in that constantly. Yeah. Overall, definitely recommend it if you run across a copy. It's a fun enough game. I really had a blast. In fact, I'm thinking about playing it right now, but I'm probably going to record another video. So that's what's going to happen here, kids. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate your viewership. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you played this game, let me know if you had fun with it too. I'd love to hear. If you can, ring the dingly bell. It makes YouTube happy and lets you know when I post a video. And my Patreon link is in the description below if you are so inclined. Every penny helps to support the channel, but I'm definitely not begging. But I definitely don't complain if someone decides they want to give stuff. And I do support my Patreon specifically. Again, I'm going to give more kisses in the camera because I was asked to. See? Patreon friendly. Also, I appreciate all my little sissy puppy Trojans because he's a good boy and he's going to be very pretty for me and he's going to wear that new boa he ordered. Yes, he is. I know he's going to wear it because he's a good boy. He's a good little sissy puppy. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you have a pink, fluffy, pixie-rific rest of your day. Bye now.